Now, let's give the stage to our next speaker, and he will talk about our surroundings, but in a very different sense. Okay, meet Ahmadjon Pulatov. It's your turn, man.
Can you just turn to the presentation? You might say that the presentation a little bit childish, but I say that our life is already full of gray and black moments, so let me add some bright colors at least to our TED conference. So, when it comes to a monologue, let's start with imagination. Imagine you walk up to the door, push the handle, it doesn't move. Annoyed your bullet instant, it finally opens. You walk away thinking, was I not paying attention? We have all been there. Have you ever noticed that sometimes tools we use, from doors to gadgets, are working against us instead of helping us? Sometimes everyday life seems like a never-ending fight against confusion. You buy a new gadget, excited to use it, but the buttons are confusing. The instruction doesn't make sense and nothing works the way you expect. Frustrating, right? But let's have a look. Why does this happen so often? There are numerous reasons. Some come from limits of today's technology, others result from cost-cutting decisions by designers. But the biggest problem is fundamental misunderstanding of human behavior and overlooking key principles of good design. Yeah, here's the irony. Most tools designed by engineers, experts in their technology, but not necessarily people. Engineers tend to make tools too complex because they are too logical. Because engineers are taught to be logical. Engineers say we're humans, so of course we understand humans, but as life experience reminds us, humans are astonishingly complicated. So when people struggle using device, engineers often blame us. Why don't they just read the instruction they want? But the truth is, the problem isn't with the people, it's with the design. Tools that are thoroughly done must be easy and simple to use with no need to label instructions. Great tools don't force us to adapt to them. They adapt to us, impressing the messy, imperfect way we think in it. Today, by looking at three simple ideas, affordances, signifiers, feedback, we'll see what makes the difference between tools that frustrate us and tools that truly help us. So let's begin with affordances. The term affordance refers to the relationship between physical object and the person. A tool's affordance is its ability to communicate how it should be used. Affordances exist everywhere, even if they are not visible. But for designers, their visibility is critical. Visible affordances provide strong clues to the operation of things. Take, for example, flat plate mounted on a door. That affords pushing. Knobs afford pushing, afford turning, pushing, or pulling. When it comes to the settlers, of throwing things into, balls of throwing or bouncing. So perceived affordances always help people to figure out what actions are possible just by looking. Don Norman, an American researcher, psychologist, engineer in the area of robotics, who wrote several books on this topic, said once so: when affordances are taken advantage of, the user knows what to do just by looking, and no picture, no label or instruction needed. Next, signifiers. I call it a signaling component of affordances. Signifiers tell us where the action should take place. Signifiers work like a signboard that says push here or turn this knob. So take, for example, a door with a horizontal bar across it. This bar signifies push here to open. Contrast that with a flat, featureless, or stylish door that leaves people guessing whether to push, pull, or slide. So, lack of signifiers always leave people in the dark and leave people frustrated and fumbling. So again, let's have a look what Don Norman said about signifiers in his great book, Design of Everyday Things. So I really recommend all of you to read it. Signifiers are the silent heroes of design. They work invisibly, guiding us without us even noticing. When they're missing, this guide becomes a guessing game. And no one wants to guess when they're trying to cook dinner or assemble furniture. Finally, feedback. The most overlooked element of the design. Feedback tells us whether we have used a tool correctly or if we need to adjust it. Without it, we are left guessing. Feedback. So, okay, have you ever noticed people at an elevator repeatedly pushing up button or repeatedly pushing pedestrian button at street crossing? What's missing in these cases is feedback. Some way of letting you know that the system is working on your request. Or imagine a drill, imagine using a drill, but the motor doesn't hum, the beat doesn't turn, and there is no indication whether it's working. Frustrating, right? So, lack of feedback makes people unsure if their actions are effective or not. So, feedback is essential, but it has to be done correctly and properly. Because sometimes full feedback might be even worse than no feedback at all, because it's confusing, irritating, and sometimes anxiety-provoking. So there are 4 criteria for the good feedback. First of all, feedback must be immediate. Even a delay of a tenth of a second might be confusing. If the delay is too long, people often give up, just going off to the other activities. This is annoying to the people, but it's also wasteful of resources. When the system spends considerable time and effort to satisfy the request, just to find that the intended recipe is no longer there. Feedback must also be informative. Many companies, many manufacturers, designers try to save money by using inexpensive light or sound generators for feedback. These simple light flashes or beeps are more annoying than useful. They inform us that something has happened, but provide too little information what exactly has happened, and no information what should we do about it. Sometimes too many feedback may be more annoying than too little, because too many announcements make people to ignore all of them, or wherever possible to disable all of them, which means that the crucial and important ones are absolutely missed. So finally, feedback must be prioritized. Unimportant details must be less noticeable, while making sure that important signals catch attention and stand out. So, in conclusion, what I want to say, in our everyday life, we interact with numerous objects, spaces, and systems. Some of them make our lives easier, while others create unnecessary obstacles. Today, we have looked at 3 simple principles: signifiers, affordances, and feedback. It turns out that these principles aren't just for designers. They shape the way we experience the world. So the question is, what should we do? Try to pay attention. Every time when you encounter intuitive design, appreciate the thought. But when you struggle with poorly designed product, remember it's not your fault. It's an opportunity to ask how it can be improved. So, in conclusion, let me leave you with this quotation that I really like. Good design is actually a lot harder to notice than poor design. In part because good designs feed on it so well that design is invisible. Thank you.